Grix's perspective. Jade! Firestorm yelled, swinging his fist. Watch out! Ow! Firestorm shook himself out of his vision, realizing he just punched Dracia in the face. Oh no! I'm sorry, Dracia! He gasped, helping the fallen Dragonite up. Damn! Even as a human you hit hard, she groaned, rubbing her sore nose. But I saw Jade! There was a fight, but he won. I know where he's going now. He'd spent 2 weeks now, training in my lair to strengthen both his psychic powers and hold his Charizard form. I put him through several of my training exercises in his best interest, but he ended up referring to it as a mental torture. Maybe it was because he felt uneasy staying in a safe place while his friend was out in the world and facing unknown dangers. I tried my best to get him to focus, but that thought had just kept coming to his mind. It wasn't that I didn't sympathize with his situation. I wasn't heartless after all. But how could you be of help to anyone if you couldn't first help yourself? Firestorm had considerable talents, which his companions clearly respected, but he was still brash and impulsive. Something, I felt, in the long run, would put him and his friends through a lot of excessive trouble. While the pair was standing in the passageway outside my chamber, they were speaking loudly enough for me to hear. Obviously, they'd never considered the echo effect of a cave. A Valley of Charizard? Dracia was asking. Yes, it's approximately past Violet City in Johto, around the mountain ranges west of here, Firestorm said excitedly. A Charific Valley, where the strongest of all Charizard go. We'll search around the area and ask the locals if we have to. Someone will definitely know. But what about your training? She asked. I know, I promised Grix, but this may be the only chance I have to find Jade, Firestorm insisted. If we leave now, we should be able to catch up with him as he reaches the valley. Even if we find him, you may not be able to perform the restoration process properly, Dracia warned. Grix hasn't even started teaching you about that yet. I don't care! It's his fault for wasting so much time telling me to run here, run there, and hold those damned weights. I'll drag Jade all the way down here and make Grix perform the restoration if I have to. I have a bad feeling about this, Dragonite sighed. Dracia, please, Firestorm pleaded. Don't you want Jade back too? Yes, but I'm concerned about the rest of us as well, and yourself for that matter, she replied. I know, but I have to do this, he insisted. All right, Dracia finally gave in. Thank you. Tell the others that we're moving out. I heard the beating of the wings as the Dragonite took off. Firestorm peered back at my chamber to see me with my head down and my eyes closed. It looked to him like I was either asleep or in meditation. I'm sorry, Grix, he said softly. I know I haven't been the best student. I do respect what you're trying to do to help us, but I have to do this. I'll see you around, I hope. His footsteps then faded down the passageway. I sighed. Looks like you've got problems, Grix, Zion's telepathic voice spoke in my mind. Indeed, I replied. Better get someone to watch him, just in case. Don't worry, I'm on the job. And try to relax a little. They'll work it out, somehow or another, no matter whether he has to walk through hell and back, he assured. I can feel it. I know. Give him my regards. Will do, Grix. Will do. Chris's perspective. Wow, this is... I gasped, staring at the sight in front of me. Pretty cool, huh? Scantrix grinned. Secret was certainly a fitting description for this space, considering the maze of caverns and tunnels of Mount Silver that we'd flown through to get here, but what truly amazed me was the place itself. It was like one of those James Bond-style secret headquarters, but run entirely by Pokemon of all sorts. What I was looking at now was a communications room with Alakazam operators. The Alakazam generally have a high intelligence level, so they're ideal for this purpose, Scantrix explained. Slowbro can serve this purpose too, but that's like comparing a 56K to a Cable Modern, if you get what I mean. It turned out that this was an abandoned army base that ran on solar power and hydropower. They'd simply moved in here and made use of the facilities. They created an entire Pokemon military society down here, hidden from the eyes of the world. Like any military base, there were the barracks, medical areas, training grounds, and communication areas. There were some computers about, used for hacking purposes and getting online if needed be. Of course, that was by tapping into a space-bound satellite using their own satellite dish, which the military had conveniently left behind. Other than by word of mouth, they relayed messages via a radio earpiece designated for their various field agents. This enabled them to more easily communicate with their home base. Stolen Team Rocket technology put to good use. I assume this would be considered impressive by your standards. Alagard appeared in the doorway. It is, but what's the point of showing me all this? I asked. To put it directly and simply, Chris, I'm offering you a place here, with us. What? I yelled. Do you know what you're asking? I haven't forgot about our incident in the past. That may be true, but he tapped a claw against his chest. I've had quite a bit of time to think about everything. Let me explain everything from the beginning. You already know I fought under the Kaze dragon in the ancient wars. Yes? I nodded. I was a dragon of bug elements then, but now I've been reborn into a new body, a new life. Seeing myself as the one-time second in command, I felt it was my solemn duty to fulfill the prophecies of the resurrection, which was the reason for our conflicts, because I needed Night Slice to accomplish this. I admit I was rather rash then. And what makes you different now? I recently felt the awakening of my brethren who'd survived the war. Each one is following the path they choose for themselves now, and if they willingly did that, why couldn't I? What stopped me? My own insistence of living up to my name? And your point being? I now realize that a priority should be taken in eliminating those who threaten Pokemon, and it just so happens that they are a threat to humanity as well. Namely Team Rocket and Silph. Indeed. And that's what I'm asking of you to form this alliance, to help in the battle against these factions. And once you succeed? I queried. I will not lie on this point. We may very likely go back to being enemies, but the odds of either of our sides winning would be much greater as opposed to fighting several rival groups. I'll hope you'll consider this. However, I will not force you into it. Should you disagree with my argument, I'll let you walk out of here, and that would be the end of our business. I considered it for a long while. I was a Scyther now, however it happened, with no clear way of being able to get my human body back. No way to contact my former comrades either. Yet I was being offered a place from which I could strike back at Team Rocket, who'd played a major part in the torment of my life, and at their enemies, Silph. If you have any queries, we'll answer them, Scantrix assured. Do you have a certain game plan? I asked. Actually, we do, Allegard spoke, showing us a fox-shaped pendant in his pincers. Stormwind and Firefly got this from a rocket near the ruins of Alpha. It's a metal known as Pokemon. Basically, Pokemon's alloy makes Pokemon stronger. They allow hidden abilities in Pokemon to surface, such as unique attacks. And we're hoping this will give us the edge in battle, Scantrix added in. So, you raid their facilities, I muttered. Will you join us, Chris? Scantrix asked, holding out his wing as if to shake my hand. We would really appreciate your abilities. 1,000 thoughts went through my mind. Sorgia. My name is Sorgia, and I agree. I gave Scantrix a claw-to-wing high five. Just as long as you can teach me to speak human language again. It'll be my pleasure, Scantrix winked.